I bought the Leica SL3-S in June, and just last week, only 3 months later, I sold the camera. Before anyone who shoots with the SL system gets all fired up, I do need to say this is just an awesome camera, but my decision was made about what I needed from it, and it boils down to video production. This channel started earlier this year, and my goal was really just to share insights about my photography process and share some of my work, talk gear, and to start conversations about things that I just found interesting. I'm still figuring this out, but if you're digging it so far, hit that subscribe and let's see where this takes us. The first couple episodes from this channel were made from an iPhone, and sure, it gets the job done, but it has some obvious limitations. For the channel to become sustainable, I needed to streamline production and eliminate as much friction as possible. And that's what caused me to make the decision to get a dedicated video camera and set up the studio. This is where the SL3-S came into play. I went with Leica because I trust and know the brand for making quality equipment, and I'm familiar with the ecosystem. Let's also mention the highlights of the SL3-S, which is the fastest Leica ever built, capable of 6K open gate in ProRes, hybrid phase and contrast autofocus with object detection. It's got a sensor that delivers exceptional high ISO and low light capabilities with punchy film-like tones. Then there's the design and the ergonomics that are second to none. An outstanding 5.76 million dot EVF and bright rear 3.2-inch touchscreen. So why didn't it work for me? It wasn't because it's a slouch of a camera, I just used the M system as my creative workflow. Again, the SL camera was for this channel, a dedicated video camera. So here's the 3 key reasons why I didn't keep the camera. Evidently, the focus on the SL3-S is greatly improved from previous versions, but it just wasn't as reliable and sticky as I would have wanted. There were some situations where I would shoot and my face would be right in front of the camera and it was having trouble finding focus, finding my eye or even my face for that matter. And then there were some circumstances where I would do an entire take and the whole thing was completely out of focus. I'm working alone, and for that to work, I needed better autofocus. Before I mention the second point that just wasn't working for me, I need to mention that I am first a photographer. I'm a portrait, fashion, and commercial photographer. YouTube comes second to that, and there's pros and cons to this. No, it's not my full-time job, so I don't get to spend as much time as I would have liked to create more polished videos. At least as much as I'd like. Maybe that'll change. What I can bring to the table is that I'm an actual working photographer, and I've got 2 decades of experience to draw from. So I can speak on the subject with real first-hand professional experience. Video, however, I'm still really new to this and I'm learning as I'm going, which brings me to my second point, which is the Leica L-Log. Color grading is an art in of itself, and when you do video, I'm learning that it's exponentially more difficult than it is working with a still shot. The files I was getting in Leica L-Log were beautiful, but they were really challenging for me to color grade, and I needed just something easy and accessible. I wasn't finding a ton of information and support that I needed to get the results that I wanted out of the Leica SL. I knew there was other camera systems out there with different color spaces that were easier to work with, had more support and more information, including more LUTs that were developed around that space. I think a lot of these issues are actually due to lack of user experience, but there's certainly other systems out there that apparently make things a bit easier. The third and last point was something that I did not expect to be so important to me, but that is the lack of a flip screen on the SL system. Sure, the camera has a beautiful screen that articulates up and down, which is fantastic, but when it comes to actually a lightweight kit, like a run and gun out in the field, make things easy, not a whole rig with a cage and everything you need for every single shot, it just didn't quite make sense. It made things a bit cumbersome. The rig was pretty big always and all the time because I couldn't rotate the screen around just to see and get some feedback as I'm filming. So what did I go with? I went with Sony. I got an FX3, actually the newest version, which is the FX3A, which has an improved rear screen. I can run this camera without accessories. It's got a rear screen that flips around, so I don't need a monitor for it, making it a lightweight option for just working out in the field, running and gunning. So yeah, this will greatly simplify my workflow and hopefully help me continue to build on this channel. Had I been a photographer looking for an EVF style, mirrorless, full frame workhorse of a camera, the Leica SL system would definitely be on the short list. I mean, what's not to love? It is professional grade, so well built. It's got everything you need when it comes to still photography. But it's a hybrid. It does video and it does still photography. And with that comes compromises a little bit on both ends. All right, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this talk. Until next time, stay curious, keep clicking.